Looks like we're lowering the bar. 'Cause I've never felt so...
It'll be like Wolverine trying to get a classroom's attention.
God.
Well, I cut the wall in half, but
But now you're paying attention.
Also, I can't work here anymore because they found out that I have 6 knives on my body at all times.
I feel like that'd be an advantage in this school environment.
No way, dude. It's got to be something like, more constructive, like 6 pieces of chalk.
Are you ready to learn?
Unless he's like a shop teacher, I could see that being effective as for like a shop teacher thing. And he's got like notched into it somehow, various degrees of rulers and such. It's like, oh, we're doing metric on this project here. Let me just pop out the middle one.
Just acid burns, metric measurements onto one, standard onto his other.
But it's adamantium. It wouldn't even acid.
No, yeah, I'm trying to think of what acid was the best. I figured you couldn't scratch it into it.
Yeah, I don't think that there would be a way. You'd have to remelt it. I guess
just drop
just
acid
a marker.
and imagine it, dude.
Just a marker. He just gets a Sharpie and just draws it on.
But then every time he pulls it in, he's just putting a permanent marker which smells toxic into his blood.
I don't think your blood cares.
He's
about
been
how
alive
it smells.
since the Civil War. I don't think he cares. He once had all of the metal that was in his body ripped away at a molecular level. I don't think he cares that this might smell like Sharpie.
I'm just so mad right now.
Also, that comics books, that comic list that I keep, like, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put a couple, and then I just keep like, well, I can't put all of this one thing.
Yeah.
So like, I have so much up here that I'm trying to process, because like, so I have a diverse.
Is this going to become an article on the site?
If you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Because I can just keep this going for a while. Because I was like,
If that's the case, then cut it down into several posts.
That is what I did with this one.
Okay, cool.
Also, I like the title, but, I'm not attached to it because I like The Lost Boys a lot.
Stiff an old newsprint or something.
What, are you sniffing old newsprint or something? But
Wait,
yeah.
Is that a reference to something?
Yeah, it's The Lost Boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Frog Brothers work in a comic book shop. Corey, the cool Corey, the Feldman.
You mean the one with all the angel girls?
Yeah. But I covered, because like I didn't want to just be like, here's a list of Marvel ones. It's like, here's a Marvel one, here's a DC one, here's a Dark Horse one, here's an indie one.
Newsprint or something. Are you guys sniffing on newsprint or something?
I guess there it is.
I'm sorry, Corey Haim said that one.
Yeah, geez, come on.
Oh, the dead one.
Yes, the the one who said he was from Phoenix, Arizona in the movie. I was just like, eh. That was one of the first DVDs I bought when I moved out, so I have that movie pretty much memorized. Even Tim Capella's greasy saxophone solo.
Oh my God.
I still live.
I honestly don't really remember
I
that
don't
movie very
remember
well.
it
It's been a
very
very
well.
long time since I've seen it.
I have this. I can like
I've seen it
watch
once.
a movie a couple times and then just I can recall, like, it's like I have the DVD menu in my head. I can just kind of like rewind at will.
I think that is my favorite iteration of Kiefer Sutherland, though.
Oh, as that bad guy,
Mhm.
I like him as that bad guy almost as much. It's kind of like a toss-up between his similar bad guy and Stand By Me, where he almost plays the same guy, except he's not a vampire, which is weird because it's Stephen King, so you'd think that he would be a vampire, But on this one,
Has Stephen King ever done vampires?
Yeah, Salem's Lot.
Oh, duh. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
And The Dark Tower.
The Dark Tower I haven't read.
Dark Tower is great.
That is an undertaking in and of itself. That's why I like that Elton John song so much. Someone Saved My Life Tonight. It's because he talks, the priest from Salem's Lot ends up doing some really badass stuff. Because it's like, the Dark Tower is like the nexus to all of his other stuff. So it all kind of ties in, and it's cool. You see characters from different stuff. And
Did you see the movie with Matthew McConaughey? And
it's not time for the nerd rant yet.
I knew that would get you.
But yeah, I did. I put Days of Future Past on here. Superman Red Sun, because we were talking about that. Lone Wolf and Cub. And then Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley.
I know that name. He did Scott Pilgrim.
Score
didn't he?
Pilgrim. Yeah.
I don't like him because he did Scott Pilgrim.
I used to rep Scott Pilgrim a lot harder back in the day, but the older
Scott Pilgrim is super problematic.
that's why I'm kind of like, maybe I'll find something else he's done that isn't as problematic. Seconds is the it's not 2005 anymore. It's pretty good.
Is it fairly recent then, or
Yeah, it was the first. It was the he would. I want to say, when did that come out? Because I pre-ordered that shit. I'll say within the last 4 years or so. And it's funny because you get a cameo from two of the characters from Scott Pilgrim in it.
so they're shared universe?
I think he's trying to connect them, but the story has absolutely nothing to do with Scott Pilgrim.
Well, sure. I'm sure that there are plenty of normal things that happen in the universe of Scott Pilgrim.
Well, Seconds gets weird because it's like Seconds is the name of a restaurant.
Okay.
That the main character Katie helps start. She's the chef.
As in, it takes only seconds for me to get my food, or yes, I would like seconds.
I think the latter.
Both.
I think the latter. It's like some hipster place, a la think like a Cornish pasty, but
Sure.
so she started this restaurant, and she's like in the process of starting another restaurant, like that she actually has control over, blah blah, because she was young at the time and did this thing, and so she's kind of in this transitional period. She's like 28, and she lives in the upstairs of the restaurant because it was an old house that they converted in the meantime, and lives with a bunch of regrets and blah blah blah, and then finds like a notepad, a pen, and a mushroom in a drawer, and some weird spirit thing appears to her, and she's like, eat the mushroom, write the thing down, in the morning when you wake up, reality will have changed. But she finds more mushrooms like in the house and fucks with the spirit thing, and then essentially starts tearing reality apart because she starts using it for the most trivial shit. Like, I shouldn't have had that burger last night.
Sure.
And then she's like, well, I don't want to eat this burger, and then sleeps on it, eats the mushroom, sleeps on it, and then wakes up, and then as if reality's changed, and then
she had not eaten that burger.
Yeah, at the most basic sense, and she just kind of she begins to tear reality apart.
This sounds super rad.
It's really
Sounds
cool.
very interesting.
It's really cool because like Scott Pilgrim, as big a fan as I was of the series, because like I got into it backwards. I got into the game. And then I saw then I read the books, and then I saw the movie. Like
The game was really good.
The game is awesome. It actually
And has a great soundtrack.
I was trying to see Anamanaguchi at the Rhythm Room a few years ago, but I didn't buy tickets in advance, and I was just like, maybe this will be like when I go to a local show, I'll show up and I'll buy a ticket. Nope.
Sold out.
Nope. There's a bunch of people just outside like, man, we can't go to the show, but we're going to hang out in the parking lot because it's the next best thing. I'm like, I'm going to get out of here.
Huh.
But I liked the book a lot. The character of Scott Pilgrim in the book was a bit different than the movie, but even then, now it's kind of like it's dated.
Yeah.
It's reaching that
Has
point
not
where
aged well.
Yeah, it hasn't aged well. And the book he did before that is still pretty good because it has nothing to do with Scott Pilgrim. It's called Lost at Sea, and it's like a teen. Well, the character's like 19, so like post high school, like emotional drama with this strange backdrop of a road trip with people that this character doesn't really know that well, and she believes that her mother sold her soul to a cat, or sold her soul to the devil for success, and it manifests in the form of a cat because she keeps seeing cats like everywhere she goes. And it's got some good, like, good lines and stuff like that, but Seconds is less is not attached to the problematic issues of Scott Pilgrim, because I watched that movie again and I was like,
It's so...
ooh, it was like my love
hurts.
of High Fidelity back in the day, because I was like, oh man, Jack Black and John Cusack and it's a bunch of music, and it's like, and Bruce Springsteen's in it, and now I'm like, I don't like High Fidelity. I like Jack Black and that other guy in High Fidelity, but John Cusack does suck a big one.
Well, and honestly, though, I think High Fidelity gets a pass because John Cusack's character, I don't think, is written to be the protagonist of that film.
No.
He is written to be this, emotionally abusive guy.
He's an asshole.
So I don't think that there's anything wrong in portraying that character. There is something wrong in celebrating that character.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing, because I was just like, man, this guy's cool. He's got I don't know, I'm young, and I'm like, he's got a record shop, and he hangs out with Jack Black and this other guy, and they listen to music, and they smoke cigarettes inside all day, and he gets to blah blah blah, and he goes through this emotional journey, and that's neat. And then I watched the more. I was showing it to some people that had never seen it, like I want to say last year, and I was just like, oh man, you guys gotta see this movie. It's great, Can't believe you haven't seen it. Bruce Springsteen's in it.
Yeah.
And Bruce Springsteen is like my world, my jam. Bruce Springsteen is the reason I'm in a band, because I had my jukebox hero moment.
As long as we turn into a 10.